Hey guys, how you doing? Well, I think I'm doing a little better than when I last spoke to you guys. Um, First, um, as I was telling all the staff about my suffocation issues, um, that's what I'm calling it, by the way, because that's basically what it is, you know. Because I'm wrapping the whole scenario into one clump of a term: suffocation issues. Now, I've been telling all the staff about my suffocation issues, and because I'm because I'm because I don't want to hurt the person who basically fought me um, on this. Um, I really don't want to get her in trouble. Um, because I just wanted people to understand, you know, and you get you get two types of responses from the staff. Two responses. And it's almost like a D and an R, politically speaking, right? Uh, conservative and liberal, right? So it's split down the middle. You can't, you gotta be on one or the other, right? So I keep it ambiguous. I don't give it much information. Um, so I basically wanted to leak this information out there slowly and gradually. A little bit of information here, a little information there, piece and piece, to get everybody to understand. Oops, my, to get everybody to understand um, the suffocation issues, because it's a whole experience. It's a whole experience. Which is very difficult to explain. Not difficult, it's very time consuming. And it's not something you can whip out shorthand in just a minute or two. It's about a 5 minute explanation, and most staff don't have the time, which I understand. I understand. I get it. So now, once I give out enough information that they understand what I'm talking about, um, then they give their answer. I'm all choked up. Do. No. um, and like I said, you either go one way or the other way. And most staff that I've given that much information about basically don't understand. They don't got it. And either that or they said nothing to me. Nothing. And with me being a very big communication person, I don't know what they're thinking. I'm very bad with perceiving hints. You gotta be direct with me. Gotta be straight shooter right there. Boom. Give it to me. I'm not good with hits. And some innuendos I get. But when it comes to hitting, not good. So when you're silent and say nothing, you know, I don't know what you're thinking. Sometimes I might guess, but generally I don't. Now, there have been a few staff members who fight and argue with me. And that I hate. I hate that. When they argue with me. You know, I say da 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 da, and they'll say, "You're fine. You're fine." You know, or they will truly listen and look at you, and they're in tune with you. There was one staff member, matter of fact, she was one of the respiratory therapists. There was one respiratory. Well, a few of the respiratory therapists said, "I don't know what to tell you," or "I don't know what to say." You know, it's like, you know. And then there was my favorite respiratory therapist. And great bedside manner, wonderful bedside manner. She's my favorite. And I know, so when I have the call light on, I don't know who's going to walk through the door. But every time she walks in, my heart skips a beat. I'm like, yes, yes. Oh, I am so happy it's you. Because I know she will tune in with me. And she does, and she did. So I first opened the whole thing like I do with everybody else. And she's like, "Who said that? What are you talking about? Please, tell me." talk to me. So I'm like, so I started, and I went through the whole thing, and she stayed, and she listened, and the longer she stayed, and the more she listened, that gave me the encouragement to keep, to really share that information with her. And she had to leave because someone else's vet was beeping. She said she'd be back, but she didn't come back. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. The time that she spent listening, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me because, and all the information I was able to share was like 90% of the whole damn thing. So I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind. That's okay. I don't mind because during that time, I know she got it. She got it, and she's on my side. And everybody here, I give them the same short info, ambiguous information, because I know they have meetings and they have reports, every shift change. So I know they share that information. And if you you know, so one staff member says, "Do you know Jim had this in his phone?" Da 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 da. And someone else will say, "Yes, you showed that to me too," and me. Hmm. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying I'm imagining that it did, based on common sense, and based on um, uh, you know, what I normally see. So I can imagine spreading all around all around the building. Tim's talking about suffocating. Tim saying he suffocated. Yes, Jim said he suffocated. And then more information is spread and blah, 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 blah. So much so, I think it was last night, and one of the CNAs came in and took care of what she had to. And then there came a point that I just knew she was going to say something about that daily living matter that triggers a response saying, oh, suffocation, suffocation, it's suffocation time. That's not what I got. She said, okay, so if you do this, your sats go down. I said, wow. I'm glad. I'm glad she knows. I didn't even share a damn thing with her. She knows through the meetings and through the reports that I leaked that information throughout the building. And I'm sure everybody knows. And she did too. But she didn't get all the information. Because everybody, see, I've always said this. I've always said this because that's what I learned in communication, that 90% of communication is listening to the extent of understanding. Because if you don't understand the message that is conveyed, then you don't got. You got a distorted version of the message. Okay? In which maybe a small percentage is incorrect. Everything else is correct, but small percentage is incorrect. And last night proves that. Because she said, so when this happens, your stats go down. And I said, no. When this happens, my stats go down. She said, oh. Which tells me she got it. So this kind of proves what I've been saying for years about communication, which basically confirms that what I learned in high school and in college about communication is correct. Okay. So, I'm happy that two people, because when the CMA asked me about it, and I confirmed it with her, she says, okay. And then she just, finished. No bite, no argument, no banter, no huffing and puffing and running her mouth. Because a few of these CNAs, they get all huffy and puffy and they run their mouth and they bark and then they argue and they get this chip on their shoulder and they got attitude, And that's the one thing I hate about any staff member, whether it's a nurse, whether it's a CNA, is when they have that damn attitude. I mean, when you get that attitude, and it's a very distinct attitude, it just, there's no reasoning. Oops. There's no reasoning, there's nothing. And then they're gonna drag you in to a heated altercation. And my problem is not being able to recognize that and just stop myself. I said, she is not going to pull me into this. If she wants to act like a crazy person, and run their mouth, fine, leave my room. But being human, I, when it happens, you know, I forget what I'm supposed to do. And I just, they draw, she draws me into it. And then maybe 5 minutes is ruined. 5 minutes and I'll never get back. So, now, how am I feeling? Surprisingly, I'm feeling great. I don't feel like I'm working hard to breathe. Because the last time I spoke with you, I was having you know, doing a lot of work breathing. Because just shortly after I finished talking with you, I felt too weak and I got back on my bed. Oh, and another thing, I wish to make a correction about what I said during the last video. I said that there's I um, experiencing severe dermatitis, skin upon skin upon skin. No, I wish to correct that, and I wish to change that. That was incorrect information. Now, I was a little confused what really is dermatitis on me. Now, in doing a little investigation, which I wasn't really actively investigating, I was just, searching it out. And I found that I misunderstood what dermatitis is. And my nurse practitioner, or I should say the nurse practitioner assigned to work here, because they're not mine. And they change all the time. Well, when I was trying to explain about the basic problem of the mass that's on my lower abdomen, a mass that's like a grapefruit. It's as big as a grapefruit, it's as hard as a grapefruit, and that I live with, that's living inside my body rent free. And he misunderstood. At the same time, I was sort of asking him two questions, and he only answered one. But I didn't realize I was asking two questions. And because I was inquiring about what's on the surface of my skin there. And that is dermatitis. It's not layer upon layer upon layer of skin like I originally thought. Dermatitis is like a variant of eczema. And you heal that with a special cream, which is for dry skin, you know, stuff like that. So that is the dermatitis. And what is as hard as a rock, this big, unyielding mass that I wish was fat, is what an ER doctor told me what it was. Lymphedema. And because I asked the ER doctor one, it was like 2 years ago or something like that. What is it? And she said it is lymphedema. I asked her what it was, and she printed out information from the computer for me to read on my leisure. So now, because then I thought, oh, he misdiagnosed me, kept telling me it was dermatitis and it's not. And I said, no, Jim, that is not correct. He did not misdiagnose you. He answered what he thought I was asking, which is what is on the surface of my skin, which drives me crazy because there's so much of it in one spot that feels like it should not be there. It's because my skin is supposed to be smooth, albeit the hair. Okay. And you got all of this crap, scabs or whatever, and which drive me crazy. And that is what is dermatitis. And yes, the cream he prescribed, I get would take care of the dermatitis. And now I can say that I have two problems in the same spot, on the surface of the skin and what's under the skin. Okay. And what is on the surface of my skin on the abdomen is dermatitis, and what's under the skin is lymphedema. And I tell you, I had something to say and I can't remember. Because I was going to say it, I can't remember. So anyway, that's about it. And otherwise, everything is about the same. And I'm feeling pretty good. And let's hope it stays that way. So, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening again. Take care. I'll see you soon. Okay.